From the great city of Philadelphia, you're watching the PLL on ESPN, powered by Ticketmaster. California meets the New York Islands on the campus of Villanova University. It's the Redwoods and Atlas to kickstart day two of week game. The Redwoods only have one game under their belt. What are you looking for from this California offense?
It's a little bit of a disadvantage. I'm looking for improvement. I'm looking for better passing. And you think about this offense, it really starts and ends with Rob Pennell, who's their quarterback of the group. He's 34 years old, out of Cornell University, back in 2013. Two-handed attackman, arsenal of moves, whether it's the question mark, whether it's the rocker step or sneaking from X. He can be a distributor. He can be a goal scorer, and he has become a sensational leader playing with authentic joy. There you see the damage he has done in his career. Third all-time in points in pro lacrosse history.
And Ryan, titanic heavyweight battle at the face-off X. TD Erlin for California, Trevor Baptiste for New York. Two of the best to ever do it.
I was talking with TD before the game, and people, I was joking, like, people were asking me, like, did I watch film? It's like, I've gone against this guy a million times. I know what's going to happen.
Slight advantage historically to Trevor Baptiste, somewhere between 5 or 10% head-to-head in his matchups with TD.
Erlin, in his season debut last week, 67%. Baptiste has been on a heater, 85% through the first 3 games. It won't be as easy today. And Baptiste able to come away with it off the scrap. And this Atlas offense shooting 34% through 3 games. That is absurd. They've made a quarter of their 2-point shots. And Jeff Teague is already halfway to the single season PLL points record, just 3 games into the year. And this is the ball movement. You can set this offense at times to Mozart. Shot from the outside, it goes. That's Doc Sakin, who almost suited up to play for Villanova football. In fact, he came to Villanova during the COVID year, but there was no season. It ended up being canceled.
And what I love about how they're using Aiken is he's on the wing, so post-win, he's already out there. He has been lights out so far, 7 goals already on this young season, and his foot barely touches that 2-point arc. But this has been kind of the mojo for Atlas. The strong start, win faceoffs, build that lead.
He's got that speed and power component. It's 6'2", 210. He can run downhill. He also can plant from outside the arc. This is a young man who scored the most goals in Virginia history for a midfielder, and he has bounced back this season with a vengeance.
The Redwoods with the counter. It's TD Erlin coming up with the ball off the faceoff and beating Tim Troutner. We're tied at 1.
Baptiste dominant so far, Quint. He hasn't had a matchup like Erlin at the stripe.
Erlin wins the clamp and goes forward and spins somehow, gets himself out of the wash, puts the ball on his chest to avoid the defenders, and then takes it to the heart of the defense. One thing you're going to enjoy about this matchup, Baptiste and Erlin, 2 of the best. They represented Team USA, okay? The 2 best. They both can handle the rock. They both can play defense. They both have offensive skills. They are exceptional athletes.
This time Baptiste wins the faceoff. Now, talking to Trevor Baptiste before the game, I asked him very directly, what's the biggest difference for this team from last year? And the first name out of his mouth, Doc Sakin. He said Doc Sakin's allowed Brian Costabile to breathe, Miles Jones to breathe. It looks like a player who has regained his form, Ryan.
I mean, you look at those 3 on the same midfield line as Redwoods turn the ball over. You know, who do you put the long pole on?
They got a chance here. This is a breakaway. Kelly turns away Dixon. Wow.
Nice save by Kelly there, going down to his knees. And Kelly's got strong tendencies as a goaltender. He goes down against shooters. He often guesses low.
Penalty marker down.
I want you to keep your eye on that today. Jack Kelly bailing out and going low on shots, because I think it's huge watching tape.
Moves off. Tell Sanders gonna serve. Xander.
Atlas foul, number 10, 30-second technical, offside.
Let's start with this absurd Kelly save.
Just a body save.
How many times does Xander Dixon miss from that close?
Think about Kelly, 29 years old, played at Brown, was part of that Brown team, played in championship weekend, two-time member of Team USA, Jack Kelly.
Power play opportunity now for the Redwoods. Westberg circles around the crease. Pinnell up top. Here's Chris Gray. First game of the season. Inside. It's good for Garnsey. 2-1 California.
Garnsey makes it look greasy no matter what happens here. He's got the ability to catch in traffic, sprawling on the ground, taking hits. It never looks clean. It's always gritty.
And this is a ton of trust between Pinnell and Garnsey on this feed. You can see Rexroad 22 in blue just shade to the left just slightly. And Pinnell jams it in there, knowing that if he throws Garnsey to space, he'll adjust accordingly. And his ability from a body language and body control standpoint to catch and finish as he falls to the ground is what makes Garnsey so special.
Another assist for RP3. 293 for his pro career. Erlin lost his stick. Baptiste couldn't pick it up. Now the wings get involved. Popped into the air. 5 in blue, Tyler Carpenter has been a human Roomba for the Atlas, rookie out of Duke.
For me, he's the steal of the draft, the 4th rounder.
Aiken again had a good look, missed the cage. Dixon has the backup, closest to the ball, when and where it goes out of bounds on a shot, awarded possession. Chris Fake shadows Dixon. The Slim Reaper. And his old college teammate Connor Schellenberger. Now Schellenberger from X. Over to Teat, shot clock violation.
Nice defense by California, talking to their head coach, Nat St. Laurent. He said, disruptive defense. We want to get to people's hands.
And we're going to get a delay of game on the Atlas.
And they're going to overplay the ball on the perimeter, Ryan. And what that's going to do is going to make the Atlas into dodgers instead of passers.
Number 7, 30-second technical, delay a game.
Yeah, that's a shot clock violation. And you're not allowed, that's a hold-up play off of a shot clock violation if you're the offending team, as you get a look at Nat St. Laurent. 6th season as the Redwoods head coach. Native of Carthage, New York, where he played with the great Mike Powell.
Umbrella!
That's 2 unforced penalties on Atlas. They came today 4 penalties per game, worst in the league.
Hands!
It's been the one knock on them in the early season. From the outside, a save by Troutner. That one came off the cross of Garrett Degnan, rookie out of Johns Hopkins, who had 4 points last week in his pro debut. Camizio looking to shake Berg. Troutner gets it across to Logan. It's deflected. And Danny Logan able to recover. 2-time short stick D-Midi of the year in the PLL. Use up a lot of precious seconds. Now you're getting your subs in. It condenses the possession for the Atlas. Ronan Jacoby. Now Schellenberger, goal line extended. Up top to Miles Jones. Jones, the 6'5" Goliath. Fighting through a double team. Now a triple team. His skip pass picked off by Brian Tevlin. Former Yale and Notre Dame captain. Former Irish bagpiper.
He's been aggressive in transition, well defended.
Here comes Garnsey. Path to the goal, trail check, deflected away. It'll stay with the Redwoods.
I like Garnsey in early offense like that. The space, he does his best work sometimes in those sets.
That's where he thrives, in that gray area. It was a nice pick by Tevlin and a beautifully timed trail check by Rexroad.
Charlie Bertrand, one of a strong contingent of Virginia Cavaliers in this game. Garnsey from the wing, saved by Troutner. Great look there by Ryder Garnsey.
Troutner's been sharp right from the start this season.
I think there were a lot of us who wondered, was it a matter of just time when Liam Entenmann would take over in goal? And Tim Troutner has done nothing wrong to relinquish that starting goalie job so far.
No, 53% coming into today. The only knock on him really is 6 two-pointers allowed over their first 3 games.
And some of that is a product of the Atlas having large leads in games and teams needing to take more twos to get back in. Jeff Teat working on Costabile. Teat has his stick knocked away. Rex Road able to recover for the Atlas.
California's been very aggressive on ball.
That one too high by Costabile. We get a whistle. Chris Fake is limping off the field.
And just to build on your point, Quint, from the previous possession, you saw Davis Allen. Normally that short stick after a switch on Teat will kind of sit back and be patient. He kind of jumped out and got out on Teat, got on his hands.
So their point is that they want to be disruptive on ball, really overplay the ball, force the Atlas into being dodgers and not passers.
Dylan Malloy working on IDA. Well-timed slide by Arden Cohen.
This is an Atlas offense. It's averaging about 10 assists per game.
Schellenberger against the rookie Chris Conlon. Rookie against rookie. Schellenberger slips. IDA trying to get into his body. Connor Schellenberger, the number 2 pick in the draft. 4-time first-team All-American at Virginia, but denied by Jack Kelly.
Snake attack by Schellenberger. Tries to beat Kelly to the punch. The veteran was ready.
Here comes Cole Kirst.
Good. They're off sides. They're off.
A clamor for an offsides call coming from the sideline.
Go right. Good. Lefty. Lefty. Righty. Hands. Hands.
Cole Kirst was a top 20 pick last year. Working on the short stick, Camizio. Chris Gray. This is Degnan. That one bounces offline. We get a shot clock reset. Troutner got a piece of it.
Big time velocity from Degnan. That one 91. He can easily reach 100.
Only Terry Reardon had more career goals in the long history, the illustrious history of Johns Hopkins lacrosse.
Pressure. Pressure.
Garnsey with a short stick matchup. What a feed inside, and Kirst cans it. Young man.
Kyle Kirst, a former goalie at Rutgers and youth coach in the state of New Jersey. He's got 3 sons playing in the PLL.
Trevor Baptiste, former league MVP.
I was like, I feel like I've seen it.
Former youth swimmer who made a transition to lacrosse late, and his parents, led by his dad, Leon, very supportive, and took him some time. Ultimately recruited by Franklin and Marshall and then Denver, and now he's become the best ever.
He was set to go to a D3 school, and then Denver got in late, and the rest, as they say, history. There's T.D. Erlin now, flag down. Redwoods are going to get another power play, already up 3-1. Jared Connors, now Garnsey, measures his defender. Merle trying to set the pick. Merle goes down. Another flag coming on the Atlas. Garnsey falling down, took a big hit. And this is going to be at least a 2-man advantage here.
fouls on the play, both on Atlas. Number 6, 30-second technical hold. Number 9, 30-second technical interference.
You see Aiken go for this over the head check, gets wrapped his stick around Erlin's neck. And then as this pick approaches, Baptiste with that off-ball push gets the interference call.
Just crushes the picker. He's trying to ride the picker, but basically blocks him like a pulling guard out of the way.
So 6-on-4 for California. Degnan camped in the middle of that Atlas defense. Pinnell orchestrates from up top to Berg on the wing. Skip pass, Bertrand, power play goal, California.
Credit the Redwoods here with their ball movement, patient. They don't take an unwarranted risk here. And it's set up by the skip from Berg across the Degnan, plenty of space. It's so challenging that 6-on-4. You've got to be mindful of Garnsey in the middle. He's already scored once on the power play, and just too much space for these perimeter shooters.
They keep it simple. California has shown up. They have made notable upgrades across the board from their one loss. Meanwhile, the Atlas, believing their press clippings, they're 3-0. They're not playing like a 3-0 team right now.
Down 3 goals, 3.5 to play. Baptiste had the face-off one, then lost it on the exit. Carpenter tried to scoop it up. Carpenter almost hunted it down. Connors in pursuit.
In this league, the margin between best team and worst team is very, very slight.
We saw that last week when Denver stunned Utah in the fourth quarter.
Pressure! Lefty! Lefty! Slow to go! Slow to go! They're coming!
Garnsey maneuvers around Rexroad, fires on the run! Ryder Garnsey with 3 points in this opening quarter. 2 goals now to go along with a helper.
Get your hair cut every day of the week if you're Ryder Garnsey. He has been aggressive, he's been assertive, he's getting it done.
That little brush pick by Bertrand, that gives Garnsey the leverage to continue his pathway, sweeping across the field. The key there is he goes from east-west to north-south. He gets his momentum going towards the cage before burying it.
He's got guts. I tell you, he's not the biggest cat in the world, but he will put himself in dicey situations, as you see the look of concern on Atlas second-year head coach Mike Pressler.
A part of the problem, penalties. The Redwoods have 2 power play goals, and California shooting 5 for 10. As Ryder Garnsey continues his anti-Samson trend. Cut the hair, and all of a sudden, superpowers go up. Here comes Costabile on the run, shoots too high. Atlas also haven't had the ball a whole lot in this first quarter.
They're generating shots, just missing the cage.
Dana Boyle with an injury update on Chris Fake.
Yeah, number 31 for the Redwoods, Chris Fake, out with a left hamstring injury, and that's a big loss. He only played 1 game in 2023, and Nat St. Laurent saying he's been outstanding through camp, and to step in and play the way he's played after not a lot of time, that's a big loss for the Redwoods on defense.
Meanwhile, the Atlas with the answer. 5-2, that's Jeff Teat, his first point of the game. League leading 23rd of the season, and Chris Conlon replacing Fake on that close defense for California.
Put more pressure on the rookie Chris Conlon. This is just a situation on a wing where Teat is known as a passer, just given too much real estate. The double shows up, it's a little late, but we label Teat as kind of a feeder, a playmaker, and little do we recognize that he's got major velocity from like 13 yards.
Yeah, he's such a high IQ player. He identifies, okay, how are you gonna play me? Okay, you're gonna respect my feeding ability. You're gonna pressure me. Like, I can still go to the cage myself as well.
Face-off won by California. Isaiah Davis-Allen off the wings. Here comes Chris Merle. Merle snaking through. Rob Pinnell looking to feed over to Garnsey.
Oh!
He gets hammered. That's a clean hit. Rex Road delivered the hit on Garnsey.
You take a moment of hesitation, and you just get a little sticky in the release there, and Garnsey gets buried.
Pinnell save Troutner. Transition opportunity. Camizio had trouble with the pass from Kobe Smith. Logan, Smith's a threat from 2, thought about it. We come up on a minute to play. A chance here, this is a 2, shot saved. Jack Kelly. Less than a minute to go, opening quarter. Gray, Cyclones out of trouble. Smith in pursuit. Gray's been quiet so far. Bertrand has a tally. That one intercepted.
Nifty anticipation there by Troutner.
Costabile up ahead, shot, score! Peyton Rozanka.
It's a 1, not a 2. He steps in the line, but shots cooking at more than triple digits, 101 miles an hour. But Troutner's turnover created leads to this run out.
It's a beautiful lead pass there by Costabile, which generates the transition opportunity.
Rozanka, a young defensive midfielder from San Diego, California, an excellent high school football player, spotted out there by former Hopkins assistant coach Billy Dwan, who gave him to his brother Matt Dwan. He ended up playing at Loyola.
Jared Connors. Connors chased by Carpenter, dumps it back to Pinnell. Final 20 seconds, quarter number 1.
Montgomery's got Baptiste trapped on defense. He's calling for the ball.
Clock. 5 seconds. Pinnell. Does he go to the question mark? He does. Miss the cage. And quarter number 1 comes to an end. Welcome back to the PLL on ESPN, powered by Ticketmaster. Next week, the PLL is off. They close out the month of June in Minneapolis, Saturday, June 29th. Carolina and Denver, 6 Eastern on ESPN2. That'll be the next chance to see Brennan O'Neill. I know who's sick of Brennan O'Neill. That's Kip Turner, former Virginia goalie, current Virginia assistant coach. A lot of Cavalier flavor down there on the field today.
It's amazing watching these guys. Xander Dixon, Connor Schellenberger, and even some guys from the Redwoods. You got Jared Connors, Charlie Bertrand. It's really cool. Chris Merrill. I'm forgetting somebody, but it's awesome. It's really special to see these guys out and playing.
You watched Doc Aiken would be the other one. I mean,
I forgot about 6.
Doc's is so old you played against him, didn't you?
Oh my gosh, he feels fresh out at this point.
What do you think makes the transition from Virginia to the pros so seamless? We've seen Schellenberger come in, immediate impact. Dixon last year, same deal. What is it from your style of play, culture? What's the secret sauce that allows them to transition so smoothly?
I think it's like you said, it is the transition. It's the up and down style that we like at Virginia. It's the way we play. It's the early offense. It's the playing without the ball in your stick, and that's kind of the emphasis that we put on, and they do a great job bumping into this league.
So the college game, the players assimilate to the pro level, but some of the strategies from the pro game work their way back down, correct?
Correct. Yeah, the pro game back down, it's almost seamless, and we take a lot from what they do in the pros to what we do at Virginia and other colleges do as well. And we watch the pro lacrosse because it gives us some good feedback on what we should do.
Kip, you played professional lacrosse for a number of years. How has the game changed in your eyes in terms of the goaltending position?
Well, the two-pointer feels a little closer, and the shot clock being a little lower makes a little bit of difference, but essentially it is the same thing. The players just put the ball where they want to nowadays. It's a little crazy how accurate they are, and that's what makes it really difficult for these guys like Tim Troutner and Jack Kelly, seeing and reading and reacting.
Yeah, we're seeing a few guys out there who you coached, including the one who's got the ball now, Connor Schellenberger. Up top, Miles Jones Rocket, saved by Jack Kelly, who you coached at Brown.
He's been a journeyman in this league. He's been amazing. He's actually one of the best goalies in transition I have ever seen.
What makes him so good at transition?
He is reading the ball out of the head of the stick, and he doesn't guess too much. He's just got an eye on the ball, and he reads it well, and he gets to it.
There's one Cavalier that you didn't mention, Ricky Miazon. He's on the roster right now with the California Redwoods. Could be activated in a couple weeks. Former Stanford football player, Virginia lacrosse player. We're hearing great things about him as he continues to grow after playing college football. What can you tell us about Ricky?
Well, gosh, what an athlete. That's number one. But as he progressed at Virginia, playing only 1 year with us, his lacrosse IQ continued just to improve, day in and day out. He just became a better passer, became a more accurate shooter, and could play within an offense.
If that was a guy who would have had another year to play at Virginia, how good could he have been?
I feel like there's no limit. All-American, for sure. He has such a gift with his size and athleticism that he's just one man that is hard to stop.
They tried for one more year.
They did. Didn't get it.
Very unfortunate.
5-3 Redwoods lead. Almost 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Here's Doc Sakin, one of those Cavaliers. His shot saved by Kelly.
Kelly's
picked up by
in.
Conlon, and now Merle.
Kelly's seen it today.
Tevlin playing with a long pole, so with the injury to Fake, we know Tevlin's a renaissance man. He can do it all. He's picking up the pole. Aiken all the way. It started with a toe drag, and Dox has his second.
I'm not sure California wants to get going up and down in this game against the Atlas.
No, they absolutely don't. The Atlas just have the horses in the midfield, led by Aiken with his second of the day. You can see the threat he is from two. You've got to run out at him, but then there's just nobody behind the play. You can see Tevlin with the long pole, and then the recovery just isn't there. Easy one for Aiken. What was it like coaching Aiken at the collegiate level?
He's just built different. He's built like a college football wide receiver, which we attempted to do. But man, that's the kind of play right there where you get a 5-on-5 scenario and you take advantage of those number situations. And Dosh pushed that opportunity, and they weren't ready to slide, and that's kind of his game. He goes when he sees an available moment.
Dana Boyle is with Doc Aiken.
Doc's a little bit out of breath. How you feeling?
It's a quick game. I think I went up and back a few times. Can't really remember, but it's good to finish the end there.
Coach Pressler mentioned being better in the middle of the field. Where are you finding that success in this game versus the Redwoods?
We just got guys that they're offensive weapons. Trevor can score, Kobe can score, and when they press up, hopefully we can have numbers around the arc, and we'll be able to do well from there.
That seemed to work pretty well. I don't know if you know this, but your coach, Kip Turner's in the booth, and he was singing your praises up there. What was it like being coached by him?
He's the best. He's an even better person, and was lucky to have him for 5 years. I love Kipper.
Thanks for that time.
Meanwhile, Danny Logan unleashed an absolute rocket off the ground to tie this game at 5. That's 4 unanswered now for the Atlas.
And it's another one in transition, Quint, getting up and down, going from defense to offense. They've got the young Bulls love to run.
The ability to share the ball on the perimeter there, just to matriculate the ball across the formation to the open man, the unselfishness for a team that's kind of struggled in their settled sets. Back-to-back transition goals is great juice.
At the pro level, if you play short stick D-midi, you better be able to play offense. And if you play offensive midfield, you better be able to get back. What makes Doc Aiken so special is that two-way ability that it's not like a B at one end, it's just an A at both ends.
Yeah, we've got Kip Turner, the Virginia assistant coach, in the booth. Kip, You guys on some of your championship teams, whether it was Ryan Conrad, Jeff Connor, you've had these two-way middies. Was there ever a thought of having Doc Sakin play both ways?
There was, but it was more of survival mode for him out there on the defensive end.
We get a flag down.
Speaking of survival mode, Nakai Montgomery got lit up on
Atlas
this
foul,
big time.
0, 1 minute unnecessary roughness.
You talk about speed. Nakai Montgomery, a running back recruit out of the state of Texas before playing lacrosse at Duke University. Watch him accelerate. Boom. I tell you, this league, they take names when you come in the paint, man. It is physical.
And I was critical of some of their early penalties. That one on Smith was kind of a bang-bang play. You slide to body.
Redwoods already have 2 power play goals, 2 for 4 on the power play. Penalties have been a big issue for the Atlas. Pennell trying to get it inside on a bounce, save, Troutner, Garnsey rebound, another save. How hard is that, Kip, as a goalie in that spot?
It's tough. It's tough. Those back-to-backers, you got to be really, really quick to get back into position. And Troutner did a great job there.
That play had a lot going on. Like to catch that bounce pass when it comes up with spin by Garnsey, and then the follow-up save. Just the reactions. That love to see that whole thing slowed down.
8 saves for Troutner. Shot clock inside of 20. Atlas have their personnel on.
It'll be interesting to see how the injury to Fake takes its toll against this California defense.
Miles Jones defended by Isaiah Davis-Allen. Davis-Allen falls. Jones to Xander Dixon. A movie Kip has seen many times.
I've seen that in games, I've seen it in practice, and he finds his way open all the time. He is so impressive without the ball on his stick.
And credit Jones, who draws the slide and gets away from pressure. Earlier in this game, he was trying to fight through 2-3 guys. Here, he draws the attention of the defense, gets out of there, and wisely finds Dixon just floating to open space. He led the league in 1-point goals coming into it. He's extending it.
We thank Kip Turner for stopping by. Atlas have taken the lead.
They're passing the ball, and today, that first quarter, their half-court offense was a little bit stagnant, and credit their defense for the runouts and the transition goals to get them ignited.
Teflon now has the short stick. Over to Cole Kirst. He was the highest scoring rookie midfielder in the PLL last year. Pennell over to Chris Gray, who has been quiet in his Redwoods debut. And a turnover by California. Dana?
Coach, 5-0 run, Chris Fake goes down. How do you capture back some of the momentum here?
We just have to get organized. We're getting a little too helter-skelter. Took some shots we didn't need to take in transition, but, you know, we've been wanting to push that. So that's going to happen a little bit. All in all, we just got to take a deep breath, and, you know, when we get our shots, we got to can them, and when we don't, they're following us, so we feel pretty good. As long as we keep the spacing up and dodging hard and moving it, we'll be okay.
New pieces on the defensive end specifically. What adjustments do you want to see there?
We just got to continue to get out in their hands. We were doing that early when we got on our run, and we disrupted them a little bit, and we need to get back to doing that.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, ma'am.
Here comes Miles Jones down the alley. Jones cans it in. Got a little sneer of cold command at the end as he and Isaiah Davis-Allen got in each other's faces.
Well, you saw in the previous possession, match up on a short stick, you slide to him and he makes you pay by distributing the rock. Here against the long pole, you trust that one-on-one matchup, and Jones just makes him pay. And make sure that they know about it afterwards. But Redwoods have got to get cleaner in their defensive organization and communication. They've got Conlon, the rookie, inside playing against Dixon, so he's kind of the air traffic controller. That's a big ask for a rookie, Quint. Not a lot of reps and playing with Cohen and Garland.
Conlon, 20 in white, and you see Miles Jones, who has at times this summer looked unstoppable. And a happy Father's Day to the young father, Miles Jones.
I think a big thing for him was having a full training camp with Atlas. Both him and Dylan Malloy were picked up mid-season last year.
How about this? it hasn't quite been make it, take it for the Atlas during this 6-0 run. The Redwoods have won 7 straight faceoffs, and yet, well, there is the end of that 6-0 run. Garrett Degnan got a piece of Troutner, and it goes in. And it makes it 7-6 for Degnan, his 3rd goal of the season.
Ryan, he's not shy, and we cover a lot of Johns Hopkins lacrosse games over his career. As a leader, he resurrected that program internally. As a player, nobody is more consistent. He scored in, what, a zillion straight games while he was at Johns Hopkins Blue Jay. He's older for his class. They gave him an extra, what, 5th, 6th, or maybe even 7th year. But the guy can shoot it. Self-made player who can rip it.
And that's exactly why the Redwoods drafted him. His ability to stretch the field. He got him in the 3rd round, another 3rd round gem for Nat St. Laurent. But the question coming into the PLL was, can he win a one-on-one matchup? And he's been able to do that on a pretty consistent level.
And 9 straight faceoffs won. Danny Logan took that for California. Or for New York. Garnsey to Pinnell, where Rex Road will try to match feet. Pinnell spins, shoots. Garnsey has the backup.
Rex Road, 22 in the blue, to me is putting together a quality summer. I think he's been really good in all 3 of their games.
He's not going to get the same headlines as some other guys, one of the more underrated defenders in the league.
Garnsey to Tamblin. Troutner can't make the save. The goal is good.
Nice little inside action here by Redwoods to free up Tevlin. A slick little underhand pass there by Garnsey, and Tevlin has the wherewithal to kind of throw one little hitch pump fake to get Troutner off of his line.
Tim Troutner almost made a spectacular save.
Oh, that ball just trickles in. Kind of brings back memories of yesterday's game with the Carolina Chaos, and you see it net cam. The entire ball must cross the entire goal line. It's got backspin when it first lands, but Troutner can't get there and actually pushes it over to the line. No! No! Those plays are like slow motion in your mind as a goaltender.
Slow death as a goalie?
You wake up, cold sweats, nightmares as a goalie.
Baptiste back out there against Erlin. It pops to Merle. Timeout, Nat St. Laurent.
The offensive savant. It's no secret. They love the ball movement. Let the ball do the work. They're going to try to isolate Chris Gray back here.
Gray's been quiet, facing his old team. Turns the corner. Backhanded shot. And that will be Atlas ball.
Well, whatever they drew up, there was a breakdown from a schematic standpoint, because if you got a drive coming up with Gray, you got to have somebody have backup responsibility. So somebody didn't pay attention to get back behind the cage in case of a miss.
And noticeable frustration from John Grant Jr. RB because they messed up.
Yes.
That play.
Yes.
A 5-0 first quarter run gave the Redwoods a 5-1 lead. Malloy throws it away. Let's go under the helmet, powered by Cash App, and take a listen to Tim Troutner.
Organize! Organize! Pick coming! Pick! Who's going? Throw back! Throw back! Check! Rebound!
Good ball movement.
Nice
Garnsey
save.
just could
Organize!
not hit the
All day, Worm.
cage.
All freaking day, Worm.
Your job is to lead the defense.
And some trash talking there.
By
Worm was
yourself,
directed at
by
Garnsey.
yourself. Why is it a 52 reset?
Pinnell, question mark, not there.
You want to use first names when you're directing your defense.
You had me. Had me.
He's working it. He's
All left, Carp. All left. Just switch, pull on pull. Just switch, pull on pull.
Carpenter marks Garnsey. Pennell setting the pick.
Double, double, double.
Garnsey fakes the pass, shovels it backhanded. Troutner makes the save.
Really solid angle play and a good stop down low.
11 first half saves for Tim Troutner, former PLL Rookie of the Year. There's Kelly with a big denial. Rebound to Teat. Teat sizing up Kirst. Teat flips it to the middle. Xander Dixon, the quick wrists of the Slim Reaper.
I just want to point out, it does not take Xander Dixon all that much space. So keep your eye on these two players on the interior. As Teat kind of operates, you're going to see Redwoods try to get organized with the slide, try to get organized. You just fall asleep for a half second, Quint. You drift away from him just even for a little bit, and Teat's going to find him inside.
That's where California's got to work together as 6 defenders and a goaltender. Because if you do send the double team, the weak side, that's the far side of the field, 20, Chris Conlon, has got to bump. You have got to find Dixon on the inside. He's been so deadly this summer. The least amount of ball time in his stick, the most amount of goals.
How about that battle, Erlin and Baptiste? And that's Jared Connors. Fakes the pass, Connors all the way. Troutner takes it away. Now the counter by the Atlas, Baptiste. He can score, he's a threat in transition. That's a 2, Aiken turned away. Long rebound over the head of Makar. Picked up by Arden Cohn. Gray steps into one, Penthouse Parm. Chris Gray, his first goal as a Redwood.
You gotta love the up and down nature of this game, the transition elements, end to end, the roller coaster.
End to end action. It starts with a save on one end. Here's the cannon from Aiken from deep, and off the rebound, Cohen's gonna pick up the loose ball and push in transition. Gray playing his natural position at attack. Adler helps just for a split second. Gray doesn't need a lot of space there.
The book on Chris Gray, coming out of Boston University, transferred to North Carolina, led him to championship weekend. Chris Gray is a great outside shooter. Much more velocity and range than you would ever guess. Don't be fooled by the small package. He can pop it from the outside.
Look at this stalemate.
He's gonna rip. Box, 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 box.
Wingmen trying to position themselves. Baptiste and Erlin battling. Now it's loose. Now a free for all. Tevlin.
How versatile is Brian Tevlin? How valuable is he to this roster? You get 19 guys who can dress. Tevlin's playing like 3 different positions in this game.
Gray lost his stick. Rexrow takes a check. Pennell almost got that one in. 10 seconds to go. 10.9, tied at 8.
Merle blew up Rexroad.
Final ticks, first half. Pennell against Rexroad. Pennell snaking, looking for a cutting. Gray. Time expires. Exciting opening 24 minutes between the Redwoods and the Atlas. California jumped down to a 5-1 lead. New York responded with a 6-0 run. We go into halftime.
Maybe in the fourth quarter, we're going to throw a little wrinkle, and maybe Ryder Garnsey will run out of the box. So a little different approach here in the second half. I kind of like it.
Ryan, thoughts?
You're good to go.
Well, they're not putting a short stick on Berg, so that's where normally that adjustment's waiting for you.
Connors, that was a 2. Troutner, a dozen saves.
One thing about Nat and California, he doesn't sit still.
Yeah.
He's a tinkerer. He's not afraid to make bold moves in games.
But I think by having Gray out there, what it affords you is more range in transition. We saw him bury that one from deep. He can really stretch a defense.
Brian Costaville swirls down the alley, gets caught up in a tornado of white. IDA had it, now it comes back. Schellenberger off the scramble, his first tally, his first point of the game.
And he's walking gingerly after scoring there. He took a hit after a scoreless first half, kind of a bang-bang play. You could see him walking a little.
This is great defense, really, by California. What a double team right there, the pinch double team. Ball's on the carpet and just kicks the wrong way. But the ground ball play moved on immediately. You get that ground ball in traffic, you move it on. Schellenberger converts. He had a quiet first half. He's been banged up so far this summer, coming off an aggressive college season that saw Virginia play in championship weekend. He's taken a lot of pounding along the way.
He had quite the debut. First game as a pro, 8 points. Did not play in the second game opening weekend when the Atlas played twice up in Albany, and then week 2, 2 goals and an assist against the Chaos. Assist on that goal to Costaville, his second helper.
2 battering rams now and an extended faceoff. Erlin in the white, an excellent high school wrestler. 3rd place in the New York State tournament at 160 pounds.
Out of Victor, New York. Chris Gray behind the back pass, intercepted. Transition opportunity, Baptiste, Kobe Smith, passed up the 2. Teat has it stick checked away, and then his stick gets thrown into the air.
This game is being played. This is a lot of fun.
Head on a swivel in transition.
I mean,
you think you're open for a full second, not happening.
I would have bet my mortgage that Kobe Smith was going to unleash the 2 there.
I thought so too.
I mean, there was no doubt, and he bypassed it.
And that was one of those where it would have been justified. He had a look. Curse to Bertrand. Left hand off the post. Troutner's able to grab it. Rozanka's got a goal today. Gallops across the equator. Schellenberger calling for it. Gets it. Defended by Cohen. Those 2 battled in the ACC. No flag. Looked like Dixon may have taken one in the face from Connors.
He got one.
Now we get the flag. Jones for 2! Miles Jones going Hercules.
Ryder, first flag against the Redwoods all day, and it's gets wiped out. Gets wiped out, look at that.
Good goal on the play. We had a hold on Atlas, gets wiped out. Or on Redwoods, gets wiped out.
Jones continues his strong season. This is his second 2-pointer. You can see him lining that up. Great anticipation by Jones and getting his body set before uncorking it.
15 yards, okay, that's what, 45 feet at 100 miles an hour. So you think of that baseball, the pitching mound, 60 feet 6 inches. Those guys throw 100, 95 to 100. Well, have the pitcher come in off the pitching mound a third of the way to home plate and start dealing. That's what it's like to play goalie in this league.
And if you're the goalie, it's like being the catcher, except you don't know what pitch is coming, you don't know where it's going.
Multiple release points, overhand, 3/4, sidearm, underhand.
Dana's with Miles Jones.
Miles, that was quite the celebration. You had some heat on that shot. What'd you see there?
I think they were a little discombobulated on the sub game, and that's something that we've really, honed in on, especially this season. I saw an opportunity where they, were subbing a little late, ran on. Luckily, Jeff Teague had the ball. He's always going to find it.
It's Father's Day, and I know you're a father to your daughter, but your dad's also in the stands. What's that mean playing out here, having him watch you play?
It's huge, man. I think back to the times where, growing up playing, my dad and mom were always in the stands, and it's just, a great time to just be able to show out against my former team in front of my pops.
Good stuff. Keep cooking.
Thank you.
He's not hiding from it. Former Redwood came over last year mid-season in the trade for Romar Dennis. Now, sometimes, Ryan, we see guys try to downplay the revenge factor. You told me a couple of days ago, you said that revenge factor, especially first couple of times against your old team, it's very real.
Oh, every time on the scout, as Aiken just runs through. his former Virginia teammate, who then gets up and intercepts the pass.
Merle pushing. Gray shot saved by Troutner.
Look, these are people. They're not robots. And your feelings are hurt when you're dealt, when you're traded, when you're ignored, when you're not dressed, when you're not activated. And Miles is playing with a chip today.
No, totally.
Find a reason to care.
Yeah, it was just strange going from the college level to the pro. It's like, what are you talking about, a revenge game? Like, weren't really as much the transfer portal back then, so anytime there was a guy playing against his former teammate is always on the scouting report.
Schellenberger gets to X. Picked up by Conlon. Now runs away. Hangman with Cohen. Schellenberger peeks at the shot clock. Feeds to Teat, and those two connect.
Death by 1,000 wounds in these hung situations against this Atlas team that can slice and dice you.
Schellenberger's got his defender hung up, so a lot of off-ball movement. You're going to see Teat freeze it right here. He's going to be pointing across. He's just going to find a little bit of space right here as Schellenberger surveys. You can see him staring back, like, how much time do I have left on the clock? Then he's going to reorient himself to find Jeff Teat. That overreaction there by Connors, that allows the space for Teat just to flash his stick, and that's all the space that he needs.
He's on pace. He's on pace to set a all-time PLL record.
What Schellenberger has unlocked for Teat is his off-ball prowess. He's such a good feeder. He's such a good distributor. He could beat his man one-on-one, but having Schellenberger on that right side now unlocks Teat, his cuts, his fades, his drifts.
You know what's scary if you're the other 7 teams in the league? You got the Atlas on an 11-3 run. They've got a 4-point lead, and face-offs have really been a non-factor for them in this game. They've been below 50% at the face-off X.
Came in winning, Trevor winning, what, 84, 85% on the season. Minus 10 in that category today, 16-6.
And yet up 4. Kirst against Camizio. What was that left shoulder? Kirst gets free. Save Troutner. Now Rozanka. The Atlas want to run. There's the Bulls stampede. They got a trailer. Camizio steps into one. That's a 1. It's now a 12-3 run for New York.
In transition, you get the ball to Teat and you let him be the decision maker. And you could see the Redwoods, Smith was coming down and everybody was worried about Smith from 2-point range. Teat's gonna look him off and find Camizio.
Bad shots get punished. An easy stop by Troutner. Boom, we're off to the races. We're out of here. At the other end, you pass to the wing, you cut hard to the crease, it frees up the trailer. And on the bench, it's all Atlas on Father's Day. Summer in his dodging up at the top of the arc.
He's had at least 2 goals in every game this season for the Atlas.
This is a running game. Playing wide receiver, very similar to dodging in lacrosse. You've got to get off press coverage. Well, what's lacrosse? It's press coverage.
And that Doc Aiken Player Spotlight was presented by Champion What Moves You. Redwoods unable to move the Atlas in this 3rd quarter. By the way, Trevor Baptiste with that last face-off win passed Peter Vlahakis for 6th all-time in career face-off wins. That courtesy of our statistician Russ DeLynn. Schellenberger, bounce shot. Kelly never saw it. 14-8. The Atlas down 5-1 at one point have totally turned this thing around.
6-0 run here, and you look at it, Schellenberger's got 2 goals and an assist within that 6-0 run. Way more active in this second half. They're being scoreless in the first half, and sometimes, I know we're in the NHL playoffs, pucks on net here, Anish. Sometimes good things happen.
Yeah,
What did Edmonton score last night? 8 goals?
Look at that screen through a mass of bodies. Now, your job as a goaltender, you got to see the ball. You got to find the ball in the pocket, off the lip of the stick, and in the air. Kelly loses it in the wash. There's just too many bodies crossing his eyes, and you see the frustration.
The Atlas in the third quarter, the aim of Artemis, 5 goals on 6 shots. Baptiste wins the faceoff. Aiken, one more, and he's got a hat trick. Baptiste, the former MVP, swirls it on that high wing. Teat, long dodge, shot saved by Kelly. Montgomery, we haven't called his name much today. Connors the other way. Holden Garland trying to spin away from Makar. Back to Nakai. On a bounce to Jared Connors. Plenty of time to shoot, and now they'll set up the offense with Rob Pinnell and Ryder Garnsey.
And just great awareness there by Makar in transition, sniffing out that 2-point opportunity.
Slow to go here. Slow to go, slow to go, slow to go. We're good.
Bertrand over to Pinnell. Boomerangs it to Degnan. Pinnell working on a Rexroad, who's done a nice job on RP3. His pass misses Degnan. Shot clock down to 3, down to 2. It doesn't matter. It's a turnover. And now the Atlas with another chance to continue to press downhill.
And you move Gray to attack, and there's a trickle-down effect that occurs in the midfield because now Charlie Bertrand gets that long pole assignment.
Schellenberger's got the short stick. IDA. 3 points in the third quarter for Schellenberger. Virginia's all-time leading scorer. Snaking through the defense. He gets mauled. Dixon over to Teat. Spins back to his left hand. Misses, and Tevlin closest to the ball on the shot. It'll go to the Redwoods.
Nice hustle play by Miles Jones, 8 in blue. So impressed with just his attitude this summer. It's a guy who used to put a lot of pressure on himself when he was at Duke. He'd make a mistake and kind of mope and get down on himself. I love his attitude this year. He's playing with joy. He's got that next play mentality. He's just in a good place.
You're free. Hands, hands, hands.
Ryan, what do the Redwoods have to go back to?
I'd like to see a little bit more Rob Pinnell. Only a couple touches in this entire third quarter. Been pretty midfield focused.
This is Chris Gray. He's got the short stick, Rizanka.
No roll back, no roll back. Good righty, righty,
John
righty.
Jr. was pretty adamant about being patient. He felt like they were rushing the shots in that first half, and he wants to see in the second quarter possess the ball with confidence. They haven't had it really since the first quarter.
That's going to be a warding off on Degnan. And Quint, we're watching these offensive possessions where it doesn't seem like there's a purpose. You're not generating shot opportunities, or at least good ones.
No, and you're having problems winning matchups against guys like Danny Logan, 91. Rizanka, considered a second-year pro, didn't play much last year after, what, a shoulder injury? He's a little tank.
Yeah, the other thing we haven't seen is the Garnsey two-man game on that left side. Garnsey 2 goals and 2 assists in that first half.
Schellenberger to Dixon. That's into Souvenir City.
Heads up, little coffin corner. You get caught eating your hot dogs on Father's Day. Your free hot dogs.
Free hot dogs. First 500 dads got free hot dogs today. And that's going to go against the Atlas. Following a week off, the PLL closes out June in Minneapolis. Saturday, June 29th, it's California and Denver, 6 Eastern on ESPN2. It's a couple of weeks away, and we get to see Brennan O'Neill, who the last time we watched him put together one of the great performances we've seen in pro lacrosse as a rookie, single-handedly willing his team back against the defending champion Archers from 7 goals down in the fourth quarter last week. Denver has a bye this week. Bertrand, left hand free. Too high, wow.
They waited too long to get that off, and again, Makar, a great play on that closeout, just gets a piece of Bertrand's stick. He should have shot that a half second earlier.
Pinnell working on Rex Road, and Rob Pinnell, the savvy veteran, 34 years young, gets the best of Rex Road.
Talked about his arsenal and the depth of moves. This is one that I don't recall seeing. He's going to do a little split at X, and it's just a one-handed shovel scoop shot, using the defender a little bit as a screen, and he beats Troutner to the punch. He kind of catches him off guard. It's a low release, and the ball ends up in the top portion of the goal. Like, where'd this come from?
At Redwoods, they needed a run ender. And that's where you need the veteran leadership, a guy that can just go get you a goal just to stop the bleeding.
Quint across all sports as guys get older, and Ryan, you were a great example of this. You may lose a little bit of the speed, the burst, but you make up for it in IQ and forecasting and thinking ahead, and now you're reading the court or the field like you're reading a chessboard.
Those 10,000 hours, those hundreds of games that you've played, like, where does that play come from in Rob's makeup? I don't think that's the type of play that he's like drilling during the week.
No, but your moves have to evolve.
Oh, did that go in? That looked like it may have gone in. They'll say it hit the crossbar up top.
Occam's razor, Anish. If it looks like it hit off the pipe, it probably did.
I thought that was a pipe, clearly. Are they talking about a reset, or are we going to look at this video? There were some controversial goal, non-goal calls yesterday. Very difficult calls for the officials. Bang, bang type plays.
If it looks like it hits off the pipe, then stick with it hit off the pipe. You have the ability to challenge it.
It's still a shot, and it was chased down by 12 and white Brian Tevlin.
Montgomery, Isaiah Davis-Allen, Pinnell from the wing. Back-to-back goals by RP3.
The power of the restart.
Win the whistle, Quint.
They just win this restart. It's as simple as that, and they're in their position ready to go, and Mike Pressler's got to be a little concerned because either it was a substitution issue or a not getting into the hole issue.
You can see Rex Road, he hedges out and tries to get back to Pinnell. Yeah, that's one where I think you slow play Davis-Allen, and he's going to take that from two. Go ahead, and I'm going to trust Kelly. I'm not sliding off of Pinnell.
The referee timeout there can be a little indecision. Whose ball is it? You've got to make quick decisions. You've got to echo and communicate across the field, and everyone's got to be on the same page, and you got to move quickly.
Final 30 seconds. Who else but Tyler Carpenter picking up the ground ball. Logan steps into it too, whistles it high.
That had some heat on it.
So Steve Carlton rising fastball.
That's a good Philly reference. I see what you did.
Alone.
I was going to say, who is that?
Pretty good left-hander, Hall of Famer.
They got a statue of him outside the stadium.
300 plus wins.
That's why he's on my mind.
Jeff Teat. His pass knocked down.
Although I think he was a left-hander.
Was a lefty, yes. We come to the end of the third quarter. Boy, the Atlas, they played like a Titan in that third quarter. Miles Jones had a big two-pointer. And then Teat and Schellenberger, they've been showstoppers. Right now, the favorite for MVP and Rookie of the Year. But RP3, the 34-year-old vet, not letting the Redwoods go quietly. 4-goal game, 12 minutes to go in regulation. We're back after this and a word from our ABC stations. Quint, with the success he's had with Notre Dame over the last few years.
And he deserves. He's the third assistant at Notre Dame. He's done magical, really, really good work. I think his maturation has been unbelievable. I love him. I would hire him in a second if I was, let's say, John Torpy at Brown. If I was John Crawley at High Point. Ryder Garnsey is a guy I want around my program. He's got a vibe of a winner. He's got a vibe that young people love to be around.
He's got a great personality. He did tell me he started cramping last week in their first game in a Redwoods uniform, and he said he started cramping, he got to change some things up, a little superstitious, so he chopped the lettuce.
Listen, Q, a couple of years ago I had the long lettuce. When the weather gets warm, it's not fun. It's not fun.
You did. I remember that day.
Slam dunk. That is too easy for the Atlas. The lead is back to 5. Schellenberger with a smile as wide as the Delaware.
This offense is relentless.
Credit Schellenberger for just staying with this play. Second goal he's had that's come off kind of a bang-bang play. Aiken, I believe that was a shot. If Aiken gets the assist here, tip your stat keeper.
you drew this one up yesterday, Ryan, with the diagram. With that single invert, the double comes, and the defenses don't get the backside slide.
I mean, Schellenberger was getting back just to have backup responsibility. Notices there's a little bounce shot, bounce pass, if you will, and wisely picks it up and finishes before Kelly can get pipe to react.
No assist for Aiken. Look at the ball movement. Look at the ball movement. Set that to Ode to Joy. Set that to Mozart or Bach.
Slim Reaper from Shelley. There he is, a young man who grew up playing racket sports with his dad in Connecticut, transitioned to lacrosse, and the hand-eye coordination is next level. There's nobody who gets the ball in and out of the stick with more accuracy, more precision than Xander Dixon, the Slim Reaper.
It's just a classic 4-on-3 fast break. Baptiste draws the point man to rotate over, gets it to Schellenberger. Another rotation occurs. He goes one more down to Dixon, who can finish it before that last defender can get across the crease.
This is an Atlas team. Before it's all said and done, if they can stay healthy, they may have a chance to set some PLL offensive records. Year 6 of the league. And the Atlas off to a roaring start. And, you know, I think you can chuck small sample size after 4 games, Ryan. This is now clearly the team to beat. Berg gets one back for the Redwoods.
Just to finish your point, Anish, they were first in the league coming in today, averaging 17 per game, and they're sitting at 16. We just started the 4th quarter.
I remember talking to Brian Holman, Boston Cannon's head coach, after I watched the Atlas play the first game, and he said, "What do you think?" I said, "They've improved." He goes, "Well, they should. They've had 5 first-round picks over the last 2 years, and you're starting to see them reap the rewards of all the high picks in the last 2 years."
And Ryan, you know, give Mike Pressler and how this team has been built, because some teams, listen, they go about it in a way and you scratch your head, what are they trying to do? They very consciously went in on defense last year. They took Adler with the first pick, Makar with the 3rd pick. Then this year you go and get a Connor Schellenberger, and now you're seeing the maturation from Makar and Adler.
He's just awkward here, but he need me right ahead. Yeah. No way, it's AP.
These guys are tough, man. Yeah. These guys are tough. No complaining from Trevor Baptiste. He need me in the head. Look at him. The compete level today between TD and Baptiste. He need him in the head right there.
Wasn't intentional.
And there's a lot of respect. There's enormous respect between these two guys. They're the best in the country at what they do.
Have represented our country together. They're roommates on Team USA together, along with the goalies, just a big room full of weirdos.
That is a big room of weirdos. You got Fogos and goalies in the same room?
Yeah, they put the goalies and the face-off specialists together.
So Danny Logan taking the face-off for the Atlas. Erlin wins that with ease. Logan trying to get in on Erlin. 5-goal lead, and now a turnover.
And back to your point about Mike Pressler, you know, I think to build on that, also his predecessor, Ben Rubior, for some of his draft picks and creating the draft capital that Atlas have enjoyed via a few trades. You know, Mike Pressler comes to the league last year. It's got the reigning MVP with Baptiste, but then with the face-off changes, they've got to deal with this completely different set of nuances around that rule change.
And he's made the adjustments and the fixes this year. I love their aggressive strategy. It helps when you have Trevor Baptiste.
Roden Jacoby's shot, saved. Kelly clamps down. His outlet deflected. Jacoby gets it back. Costabile, that's a 2. Schellenberger will trigger from the end line. Less than 10 minutes to go in regulation. Atlas, we're down 5-1 in the first quarter. They've controlled this game since. Chris Fake left the game for the Redwoods with an injury, and that's really where this game pivoted.
Playing short-handed. That's a tall task with a 19-man roster, 17 field players. Now you're down 1, a starter on close defense. So the 3 guys are tasked to play together have legitimately 0 game reps as a unit, going against the best offense in the league.
Dagnon starts from up top.
He can be hunting 2s.
A rookie out of Johns Hopkins. Using the sub game. Bertrand with a head of steam. Jackpot.
Still plenty of time here for Redwoods offensively. This advantage got gained out of the substitution box.
I think it was Tevlin who does a nice job on the runoff. Be the left side of your screen. You'll see the aftermath is that 10-yard advantage.
This is far from over, especially with the Redwoods and the range that they have from the 2-point arc. But plenty of time. And if Baptiste having any ill effects, I mean, TD was performing very well at the face-off stripe to begin with. If it's not a full-strength Baptiste, you know, Redwoods could be playing make it, take it here.
The only thing we've seen today, though, there have been very few opportunities for face-off guys to get right into your transition offense. Erlin wins that. You're playing the sub game. We've seen the wings get involved quite a bit.
Been a scrap. It's been a battle. It's been awesome to watch. Both were wearing the Lycra leg tights, and Baptiste has burnt a hole in the knees of his tights.
Troutner, the former Redwood, 14 saves today as Montgomery throws it away. Following our game here on ABC, it's the WNBA. Seattle Storm, Phoenix Mercury, WNBA countdown. We'll get started as soon as we finish.
And Anish, I think at what point, if you're Redwoods, do you start putting some two-way or some more offensive guys on the wings so that you can get into your offense quicker? They had Merle on the one wing, so you got to substitute everybody off, and just it takes too long. There's not enough juice left on the shot clock.
Quint, at what time? Are you at that point now? Do you wait another minute or two?
Probably the 5-minute mark. But you win this game right now if you're California with defense.
Kelly turns away Costabile.
You've got to have New York stuck on 16, maybe 17, if you're going to win this game.
Shot clock reset. Jeff Teat against Conlon. Teat over to Molloy. Assist number 4 for Teat. First goal of the game for Dylan Molloy. This seems to be about the shot clock reset. The shot clock reset to a full 52, and Nat St. Laurent saying off the save, the Redwoods never established possession, so off the rebound, the Atlas should have had a 32. And so Matty Palem is gonna check the monitor. This is what's in question. Costabile shot, there's the save. And no, possession is never established by the Redwoods, so that shot clock reset to 52. It should have reset to 32.
Meaning what's going to happen with this goal that was just scored?
Redwoods are challenging the reset on the previous possession. It's under review.
The window still works.
Yes.
Whether it was 32 or 52, they still scored within the time.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have run. I know, but the 32 wouldn't have run out. If they reset it properly, they still.
We would have played it differently, though. We were also trying to cover.
Maddie, by rule, I'm doing the right thing here.
I understand that, but
it should have never won.
But the window is still alive for them to
I
score a
just asked
goal.
him, and he was trying to get a verdict, and he literally said, did it go? And by the time
I understand that, but if the window is still open for the shot to be...
Always find an excuse.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
I get the frustration.
Why would I take the goal off the board?
Happy Father's Day, boys.
Yeah, listen.
Happy Father's Day, boys.
Good goal.
Let's bring in Seth Tierney. Seth, you were right there. In that situation, realistically, if they didn't score in that 32-second window, does that goal come off the board?
It would. It would. They, ultimately, they scored within the 32-second window. There was a mistake here. We reset it to 52 instead of 32, but after we ran it back, that goal fit within the window, so ultimately it ends up as a good goal.
But because there was an erroneous shot clock, why did they still lose their timeout then?
Well, if you throw that challenge and the challenge fails, regardless of how that plays out, you're going to lose that timeout.
So the Redwoods docked the timeout. The goal for the Atlas stands. And are we at the point now, Quint, where
hunting twos?
Yeah. Rob Pennell doesn't have that.
Within the flow of your offense, like Garrett Degnan to me should be hovering, looking for twos. Should Ryder Garnsey? No, obviously not.
No, but a goal a minute, you're still kind of within range here.
Yeah, the problem is your defense has not been able to stop the Atlas at all in the second half.
California, midway through this fourth quarter, only has 2 shots.
You talked about the ball pressure that we saw was so effective in the first quarter. Now in the fourth, it's a lot harder.
It's gone.
Yeah,
it's gone. And that last
They're
one,
not getting to hands. Their off-ball coverage is loosened up. So the fatigue really can dictate the way you play defense.
Miles Jones has had a big game.
Right, hands, come back.
Schellenberger out beyond the arc, matched by Merle. Schellenberger changing directions. Over to Dixon. Back to Shelley. Behind the cage. Teat up top, Jones. One more. Schellenberger steps into it.
That's just beautiful lacrosse, Quint.
Wow.
It's just beautiful ball movement, unselfishness.
Everybody.
There was like 2 or 3 skips.
Everybody.
One more.
Miles Jones getting that ball out of his pocket. The ball reversal from north to south.
The ball is just whipping around at hyperspeed. Schellenberger is going to be the ultimate benefactor. Look at the excitement like Jones after that one more feed. Atlas offense is rolling and the bench is loving it.
Minnesota, nice, great people. Stayed downtown. The facility, they play at the Vikings. There's a hotel right nearby. It's a state-of-the-art facility. A lot of kids. It was a celebration and a spectacle I enjoyed.
T.D. Erlin misses. And Ryan, that game, that moment for Brennan O'Neill, it sort of teases not just the tantalizing potential that we know O'Neill had, but when you play like that and that moment goes viral in the way it did, if you're this league, which is in year 6, that is part of the burgeoning growth of the entire sport of lacrosse, you're now looking at Brennan O'Neill as a guy who has the type of crossover appeal that, let's say, a Caitlin Clark has had with women's basketball.
You have your next superstar of the league, and he completely changes the scope of the Denver Outlaws franchise. You look at them as we get a flag here. We had kind of had them dead to rights in terms of within that game. Like, what's the season going to look like?
Redwood foul, number 23, 1 minute flat.
And now they beat the defending champs, basically on his back. And you're like, what is this kid capable of?
And he's a rookie playing his second pro game.
And must-see TV. Like, every time he's out there, I need to see it.
Because you don't know. At any moment, he could explode for 3 quick goals, for 5 goals. Again, the combination of power, speed, creativity, the shooting acumen, the dodging acumen. He's just must-see TV. Does that guarantee he'll do it again? No, it's likely he will. How consistently? We'll see. He could do it he could score 5 points every game, and I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Right. Go with. Go with.
Inside the Teat. Jeff Teat, who had 11 points in the season opener, then followed that up with a 7-point and a 4-point performance. 8 points today with 4 goals and 4 assists.
And Connor Schellenberger's got 7 points in the second half.
This is a team that won 2 games last summer. They're on the cusp of winning their 4th to improve to 4-0. Their goal differential is climbing. And the passing, to me, has really separated this team from the rest of the league right now.
They've got the 2 best passers
the
at
ability
attack.
to share the ball, creative passing, everybody really being unselfish. It's a beautiful brand of ball.
The puzzle Ryan fits, right? You've got the great inside finisher with Dixon, and we've seen how that's opened things up for the guys on the outside like a Doc Sakin and a Miles Jones.
Again, back to that kind of off-ball prowess. Like when you got those guys hunting around the 2-point arc, you have to get out there and get out, either play them or cut down on their space because they're such big dodging threats. So then you've got the middle wide open for Dixon, who just never stops moving. He's the most annoying cover guy in the league.
Big save by Troutner, denying Pinnell. Troutner, remember, was a former Redwood. Came to the Atlas in the offseason, 15 saves against his former team.
And then with Teat and Schellenberger, like if I'm open, I'm gonna get the ball. And that culturally then builds with everybody else. If your best players are sharing the ball, then you better as well.
Dagnon shot, another save by Troutner. Springs out of the cage. Timmy across the midfield line, gives it up. Kobe Smith, Hill launch, save Kelly.
Empty net.
Troutner's got to retreat into goal. Can the Redwoods get there? Nobody in the cage, and that's a 2 for California. So Troutner with the 7-goal lead took the chance, but he gives up 2 the other way.
Risk reward.
Yes.
The risk reward is just not worth it there.
You've got to be more disciplined if you're Troutner. I know you've got the athleticism, you got the excitement.
He makes the right play in the way he carried over and then threw it. But as soon as you release that ball, you've got to get back. And then your teammate has to know that you're vulnerable. This is not like the college game when you give up an empty netter, it's 1. This is a 2, it's a free 2.
Yeah, if I'm Gavin Adler, I'm hopping in cage. You've got 3 Atlas defenders all kind of around the crease. Get in there, Makar, Rexroad, get in there.
Does this get deflected? Taking a look at it to see.
Mike Pressler's got the red challenge flag in his hand, and he will put it back in his pocket.
Former head coach at Duke University, and Bryant told me, he asked me, he said, who do you call on Father's Day? I said, who do you call, Coach? He said, well, I call Guy Witten, my old high school coach at Wilton. I call Jack Emmer up in Skaneateles Lake, former head coach at Army. And he says, I call John Hooper, Grandpa John. He said, send a shout out to 97-year-old John Hooper, who's watching this game.
Pinnell spun around, double teamed. Adler retreats. Garnsey takes a big hit.
No foul.
He wants a flag. Now we get a whistle. We'll get interference.
Wow, that is a gift of a loose ball push. He got trucked from behind.
Yeah, that was 100% a push from behind with possession. Redwoods should be on the power play.
Garnsey bodying Camizio. Garnsey's pass to Montgomery. Can't handle it clean. Berg can't either. Razanka the other way.
You make the call. What do you think? I mean, that's clearly got to be something.
Yeah, that's a flag.
A push with possession. Could be a hold because he's over the top.
Pick one.
Atlas in slowdown mode.
You're alone.
Yeah, you've got this game won. This is don't lose it territory.
including today, the Atlas have a goal differential of plus 16 on the season. Teat to the cage. A 9-point afternoon for Jeff Teat, who's up to 31 points on the season, only 13 shy of tying the single-season PLL points record.
Yeah, he's on pace to shatter the single-season record in the PLL. And this is one of those why not kind of goals. He goes underneath, and it's just super casual. I mean, it looks like he's moving in slow motion. You can see him staring off ball. That kind of freezes the defense. And then just reaches his arm, just increases stick angle.
We docked him a point. It's actually 31. Came in with 22, 5 goals, 4 assists today.
The alchemy of the indoor game and the outdoor game now, molding into the best offensive player in the league. His dad, Dan, on Father's Day was an outstanding indoor player from Canada.
Kerr stampeding toward the cage.
Nice.
Crashes into the cage.
This could
and
get
now
chippy.
Logan
This could get
gets
chippy.
into it with Kirst. Garnsey trying to break it up. A lot of blue shirts in there.
This is disregard for the goaltender.
Flag down, Pinnell getting into it, and that looks like Makara, who now gets in the way.
Pinnell tossed Troutner.
Remember, those are former teammates.
Look, I get it by this Atlas defense. You're protecting your goaltender. Kirst was just a runaway train out of control with a straight line to the goalie.
You could see as soon as he started his dodge, you could see the steam coming out of his ears, and he was going right for the goal.
And any defenseman worth their weight is going to stand up for their goalie in this situation.
You have to. You have to.
And watch Kirst right here.
He's in the crease.
I mean, that's direct contact with the goaltender.
And Logan doesn't like it. He takes issue.
And Logan didn't go over the line there, in my estimation, right? He's making a point. Now, Garnsey gets all hyper.
And then that looked like Troutner trying to pull Garnsey off. And then Pinnell throws Troutner to the ground.
Shows restraint, quite honestly.
Makar trying to play peacemaker. So now they'll try to figure out what the penalty is here. Tim Troutner smiling about it.
Atlas foul 91 blue, 30-second technical push. The rest of this play is under review.
So the push is on Logan.
Push
and now
on Kirst. Didn't Kirst initiate contact to the goalie here? Didn't Kirst take a line?
Well, they're going to review the rest of it
now. The college and the pro rules are a little different in this regard.
Yeah.
There's no goal mouth here.
Thankfully.
Thankfully.
But, I mean, Kirst.
I don't see the push by Logan.
I don't either. I think Kirst.
Is that
look,
it?
No. The players know what happened there. Logan did not push Kirst into the goaltender.
And Troutner was actually
getting out of the way.
He
said, take a goal.
Yes.
I just don't want to make contact. I like my knees. He kind of said, you know what? I'm just going to protect myself. You can score.
And you can see by Troutner's reaction, kind of palms up like, I got out of the way.
Honestly,
here.
if I'm Danny Logan in that situation, I lose it. And I cross-check that guy's head down to the ground and take. Danny Logan showed restraint there. He really did.
And I didn't see the initial push on Logan either. It looked like he kind of pulled up.
Lacrosse and hockey share some similarities in terms of the non-written rules about protecting goalies. And when you're defenders, you can't run goalies. The goalie comes out with the ball, he's fair game. That's on him. But within his crease, Matt Palem, a former goaltender at Syracuse University, understands that. It'll be interesting to see how Matt interprets this, being a former goalie himself.
I could see maybe a hold getting called on Logan there. Maybe push, hold, like semantics, but he didn't push him. There's a headlock by Troutner.
It almost looked like Hurst had made up his mind.
Yeah.
That's what, yeah.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Anish, when he started that dodge, you could see it coming.
Yeah, that was the Amtrak dodge, and it wasn't the local.
It was the Acela.
Dana, what are they looking at on the monitor?
Well, the Atlas team just watched the review on the big board, and they got even more fired up. But Troutner was just trying to get Ryder off his teammate, and then he got pushed by Pennell. I said, "You're going to let Pennell push you around like that?" And he gave me a little side smile.
Timmy Troutner, a little bit overlooked coming out of high school in Annapolis, Maryland, ended up playing at High Point, and immediately became a star. He's one of a handful of goalies out of St. Mary's School in Annapolis who've gone on to have terrific careers. I don't know who in Annapolis is teaching young goaltenders, but Troutner, to me this summer, I felt it in week 1 in Albany, and I mentioned it to you guys. Emergence, like my time is now. I sense that.
And we've talked about the Chris Gray revenge game. Remember, Troutner left this Redwoods team as a free agent to join the Atlas squad.
16 saves today for Tim Troutner. We'll step aside.
Welcome back to the PLL.
The New York Atlas.
Here are the Carolina Chaos.
The home of the Water Dogs.
The Cannons are back.
The Premier Lacrosse League is coming to California.
Homewood Field of the sacred cathedral of lacrosse.
This crowd is always great, as it is today. Packed house.
Here are the Utah Archers.
Utah showed out.
Matty Palem giving the explanation first to Nat St. Laurent. Now Mike Pressler comes over to listen in.
Okay. And 91. So not 3 fouls on the play. 2 on Redwoods, 1 on Atlas. Redwoods, number 47, 1 minute unnecessary roughness. Hitting the goalie. Redwoods, number 3, 30-second technical conduct foul. 91 for the Atlas, 30-second technical hold. It'll be Atlas ball, less penalty time.
That makes more sense than
it does
a push on Danny Logan.
No, hey, the explanation was there. He said it. Logan kind of hooked him. He didn't push him into it. Kirst went flying in on his own accord. That was his decision. He's going to go to the penalty box, rightfully so.
They got it right.
Yeah, they got it right.
Matt Palem, 44 in yellow, got it right.
He does a good job of kind of sniffing through what matters and what kind of is just a lot of face washing and window dressing kind of in some of those things.
Anish, Shroff, Quint, Kessenich, Ryan Boyle, Dana Boyle. It's the PLL on ESPN, powered by Ticketmaster. Whipsnakes Water Dogs, game 2 to wrap up the weekend. Follows this one here in Philadelphia. You can watch that on ESPN Plus. For those of you watching on ABC, WNBA, Storm and Mercury comes your way next.
A little less than 3 months or 90 days to the PLL Championship in nearby Chester, PA. Atlas clearly stamping themselves as the team to beat.
Yeah, this is the team right now, and
it's a long time though.
It is a long time.
It's 3 months. It's a lot can change.
You know, you look at a team like the Cannons. They had the success last year. Can they build off of that? We talked about Pat Cavanaugh's role evolving, growing with Boston.
And just a couple of years ago, Atlas got off to a similar kind of hot start, front runners, and then the rest of the league kind of caught up to them.
When you look at the Water Dogs, they've been in the championship game the last 2 years. They still have a lot of the usual suspects. I know they're 0-2. They'll have a chance for their first win later today. That's not a team that you can count out. And then you look at Denver, who we didn't see this week, but can they build off of what we saw against the Archers a week ago in Charlotte, when a team I think all of us had pegged to finish last again they've got some promising rookies. We know Brennan O'Neill, but Graham Bundy looks like a keeper as Chris Gray gets a tally. And Luke Weirman looks like a game changer at faceoffs.
Quint brought it up earlier. The margin between the top and bottom team is thin. I think when you look at the early season so far, that has become razor thin. This Atlas team last year, 2 wins. Denver, 1 win, all of last year. Now you've got Atlas rolling. They're going to end up 4-0. Denver just beat the defending champs. So everybody's kind of shrunk down right now. They're all kind of packed in the middle. Atlas clear number 1. Everybody else has still got, they got some things they got to figure out, some questions they got to answer. Water Dogs, what are we doing with the face-off? Archers, defensively, what are we doing here? Like, it's very compact.
The chaos with their offense.
It's about growth, it's about improvement, it's about staying healthy. Again, it's a long summer.
Garnsey puts one offline, and that will just about do it. 2/10 of a second to go, and the Atlas remain unbeaten. The only undefeated team in the PLL. They are now 4-0. They dropped 20 on the Redwoods. It's the best offense. They had a hot goalie today.